Thank you, Lord. He's taken our voices to prove ourselves. There are a group of people who are deeply committed to human rights and despise injustice. They're deeply anti-racist and can't stand misogyny. They mix direct action and inspiring poetry. Anti-injustice movement has been spreading from the streets of Glasgow and has come down to London today. Please welcome a woman who does not mince her words, but her words are warm and beautifully radical. Lilith from Anti-Injustice Movement.
I'd just like to say congratulations to you guys, 5 years, it's amazing. You've always been an inspiration to me. I've only been doing this for about 3 years, and one of the first time I performed was actually at a rally with you guys, and I was so nervous, and you were so supportive. Every time I watch Maryam give speeches, I end up in floods of tears. I find her work so inspirational, and it inspires me in a lot of the work that I write. So the first poem I wanted to do for you is really about my stage name, Lilith. I'm actually ex-Christian. I was brought up in quite a fundamentalist Christian family, and obviously rejected my faith. So the story of Lilith is actually comes from Jewish. Many of you may know. But essentially, there's Adam is supposed to have had her first wife and created equal with him, and she refused to lie in the missionary position with him. And he got quite upset by this and went to God and said, you know, this woman, she's not doing what she's told. And so essentially, Lilith was banished. And she's supposed to be responsible for things like child deaths, miscarriages, all sorts. She's just a very dark character. So anyway, this character became my stage name, especially when I first started writing, when I was just coming out as an atheist. And I felt that some of the things that I was saying didn't sit right with me, and I felt uncomfortable, so I had to create a stage name. So anyway, this is called The Spirit of Lilith. I'm not some mystical saviour. I'm not a weaver, a spinner, or a healer. I'm not here to shelter you from the painful truth, to comfort you, or give you just another excuse. I'm not here to pity your privileged position, or tell you that some mystical age is going to wash all our sins away, because it just doesn't work that way. What makes us so arrogantly believe that we can keep repeating the same old mistakes and that this won't just be a replay? Because we've had 2,000 years of this fucking slavery, on our knees praying to some God of peace while we slaughter each other over our beliefs. So I am the spirit of Lilith, Adam's first forgotten wife, and I'm here to pick a lyrical fight with the Abrahamic father and his divine rights to be the only authority over our truth. Nothing but a history of child abuse against the followers of Daddy's bloody rule books. So I am the spirit of Lilith, a dark goddess of the moon. I am the original fairy tale ending, his mass genocidal cleansing. I am the pent-up power of his victim stories left untold. I am the righteous rage of an oppressed age, and the shuddering realization that we've been played as metaphysical slaves in somewhat patriarchal passion play. I am the poison in his filling. I am the spilling of innocent blood between his pages. I am the anguished screams of mothers cradling death to their breasts. And I am a fat maggot suckling upon the flesh of an age-old dying concept. I am that itch that we're all just too afraid to scratch. I am your irrational fear of the dark. I am an attack of conscience in the dead of the night. And I am an existential fright. swearing in advance. I was going to miss that, but then I thought, you know, freedom of speech. So it's called Don't Choose Between Evils. Capitalist big brother and his tyrant of a father, you know what? They're serving the same master. They're cashing in on disaster. They're shaking sweaty palms as they execute his plans for the biggest heist in history. Do you know they're consolidating our wealth into the hands of the heartless banking cartels whilst they demand that we tighten up our belts. Like nooses around our necks, we're saddling ourselves with their fictional debt, paving the way for this global economic slavery. A new world order, grasping sticky strings from behind these glittering curtains. They're buying up the boards and preparing their pawns for play because you know everyone is going to have their assigned purpose and place in this brave new world and its two-headed superstate. These brutal theocracies and corporate-sponsored fake democracies are soaking up the spoils of an endless Orwellian war, preaching publicly for our benevolent love. While they teach us how to hate imagined enemies, Iran, Iraq, Afghanistan, it's all just part of some master plan. Shock and awe. Endless war. Whether it's soldiers or insurgents squeezing the triggers for their bosses, you know what? We're all acceptable losses. Written off by sensationalist sermons and speeches designed to keep us mesmerised by these two supposedly opposing sides, which in reality, they're intertwined. They're battling it out in the headlines for our hearts and minds, silencing our academics with jargon and meaningless rhetoric, too busy with political correctness and tampering in apologetics, to look outside their bureaucratic guidelines and see that they are responsible for condemning humanity. So I say, fuck this relativistic ethical bullshit. All are well-formed excuses for why me and you shouldn't give a shit. Fuck their silence and tactics. Let's demand that human rights were always meant to be about helping the individual to fight against oppression. Because mass genocide made me realise that with the right propaganda team, any state can quickly become a brutal killing machine. The Crusades, colonialism and slavery have taught me that our religions have a tendency to abuse their guardianships over our moral truths. And that killing millions in the name of saving innocent civilians by dropping indiscriminate bombs is just illogical and wrong. And opening fire against people congregating in the streets, exercising their rights to free speech, has become a frightening reality. They have turned us into economic slaves, emptied out batteries, plugged into false realities, and unable to see our need for solidarity. So I say, fuck this relativistic ethical bullshit. All the well-formed excuses for why we shouldn't give a shit. Fuck their silence and tactics. And while we're at it, fuck Big Brother, his Abrahamic father, and their shadowy paymasters.
Dessert in a minute, I hope, yes. I think you all agree with me, this has been a great celebration of the first I would like to remind you a little sort of envelopes on your desk. I'd like to have those at the end. We're going to have a raffle in a minute. I would like to, before we do that, I'd like to ask Maryam and Namazie to come and join me and bring this excellent day to a close. I hate to make the bad news that we're going to go soon, but I think her work, we all agree that the work she's done in the last few years, it's been very important to give strength to many of us, not only ex-Muslims, but many people across the globe. See that through the messages that we've received in the last few weeks, for the 5th anniversary of the Council of Ex-Muslims. Ladies and gentlemen, one and only Maryam.
It's fantastic to have you here. Thank you so much for being here. It means so much that you're all here. And I hope you had a wonderful time. You know, it's important to celebrate the 5th anniversary of the Council of Ex-Muslims. Oftentimes we're asked, why ex-Muslim? Isn't this a sort of unnecessary provocation? Well, it's a provocation, yes. Unnecessary, no. Islamists will tell us this all the time. They say, don't say you're an apostate, don't invite others to apostasy, and there need be no killings. And seriously, if anyone believes that, and trust me, there are so many people that still do, Lloyd just talked about a whole lot of them, they'll say, don't provoke, don't offend, don't criticize Islam, Sharia law, the veil, and no one needs to get hurt. If anyone believes that, then they still don't understand Islamism, this far-right medieval movement. This movement needs no excuses. If you're a girl going to school in Afghanistan, you're met with acid in your face or food poisoning. If you're Hamza Kashkari, a 23-year-old journalist in Saudi Arabia, for tweeting about Muhammad and about how women's status in Saudi Arabia is the same as being in hell, they won't need to go to hell twice, who's now facing execution as a result. If you're Hilat Rashid, a journalist in the Maldives whose throat was cut recently, who's in hospital right now, merely for his writings on Islam. If you're atheist Alex An in Indonesia, who's now been sentenced to 2.5 years in prison just for saying there is no God on Facebook. And his case is being appealed. Why? Because the sentence is not long enough, according to the Islamists. Not long enough. And just recently, the 20th of June, is an anniversary in Iran where an entire generation was slaughtered by this regime. Many of them went for 1-minute trials, were asked if they believed in God. When they said no, they were sent to the firing squads. And their families were forced to pay for the bullets that cost the government to shoot them. Many of them, their bodies were never handed over to their families, and they were buried in mass graves. These Islamists need no excuses. Of course, in this favorable climate for them of multiculturalism and cultural relativism, where all values and beliefs seem to be equal and equally valid, and of course for Western public consumption, they like to blame their victims and the dissenters for their barbarity. Yet we are the aggressive atheists, and sometimes we're even compared to the Taliban. But we are the ones who are getting killed, who are being threatened, and who are being imprisoned. A lot of us in this country, we're not even talking about Iran or Iraq or Afghanistan, can't even say we are ex-Muslims and atheists. Yet we are accused of denying people's right to religion. Nonsense. We are fighting for a corresponding right to be free from religion. And anyway, religion in the state, in the educational system, in the judicial system of Sharia law, which is nothing but an injustice system. It has nothing to do with personal religious beliefs and everything to do with political power. And this point of political power is crucial. The Council of Ex-Muslims means a lot and means different things to different people. For some, it is a support network, a meetup group, a forum. For others, it is a helping hand, helping to obtain the right to asylum. A recent case we had of a Sudanese woman who was sent back to Sudan by her father for being disobedient and for being an atheist, and who we managed to help return to Britain. It is many things to many people. It is an organization that opposes cultural relativism and multiculturalism, that is opposed to identity politics, that demands universal rights and secularism for everybody. But please don't forget that before anything else, the Council of Ex-Muslims is a political organization and a political challenge to Islamism and the political Islamic movement. It is meant to shock and provoke. Throughout history, that is how barbarity has been pushed back, not by tiptoeing around it, not by appeasing it, not by tolerating it, and certainly not by being pragmatism. Pragmatism never changed the world, but challenging and standing up to reaction and barbarity always has changed the world, and that is what we intend to do. Thank you.
Yeah.